Hi there, care to join us for a Stravaiging? Today, Loki and I are going to take a walk around the Knowetop Wildlife Reserve. Located here in the Glen Kens, we are halfway between Balmaclellan and Corsock. Balmaclellan is about 3.5 miles that way, west, and Corsock is about 3.5, 4 miles that way, east. So you can get a couple of cars in just at this spot. Somebody's lost their chamois. And there's a lay-by just down there where you can see a car where you can get a few more cars parked in there. And we are going to be walking through this nature reserve here. Of course, as always, joined by Loki, who will be staying on the lead this whole walk as it is a nature reserve, and I'll get more into that shortly. So here we've got some information boards, basically letting us know about dragonflies, butterflies, adders, lizards, birds and otters. There's lots of nesting birds around here. Now it is out of season, but there's still a lot of wildlife in the undergrowth, so I'll be keeping Loki on the lead for the whole walk. So it is recommended that you actually stick to the paths on this trail, as there is deep water just off of it, which is not always noticeable due to floating moss. And this is a loop, so you can go either direction on this one. We are going to go this way. I will be keeping Loki on the lead the whole time, as I mentioned, as there is animals potentially in the undergrowth. And there we can see the first of the two lochs. We're actually going to walk around this one, and this is the Upper Lows Loch, or just Lows Loch, and depending which map you look at. And we've got a wee bench just over here for the first rest stop. There is several paths through here, or several routes. We're just doing what the circular. There's lots of smaller circulars. There's also an exit further along, which I'll point out the way down to but there is no parking down there. So we are now in September here in southwest Scotland, and we have had quite a bit of rain the last few days, which has left the path a bit muddy. But it's still kind of pretty solid underfoot. As you may have noticed, there is lining along much of the path where there isn't boards. And here we go, you can go down there, down towards the lochs again. We're just going to go up through here into the open area, moorland boggy area. Most of it is quite boggy, so the remnants of some mushroom. We are walking parallel to the road here. The path we're going to take comes back here, goes around here. If we carry on straight down this path where Loki's seemingly desperate to go down, it comes down at the far end of the reserve just onto the road. There is no parking or anything down that way, but there is a turn off to a private road, or we could walk back along the road to the start. However, we're going to walk around here to do the loop within the park. I think this might be Loki's first time here, so he's just super keen to go and sniff everything out, as well as try and tie me up in knots. If you can see the butterfly. So seemingly there is some butterflies around here that are pretty rare for the area. And I've seen some pretty massive insects around as well. Not sure whether there's a dragonfly or a damselfly. 2.5, 3 inches. 5 to 7 centimeters long, which I know for some places that's not so big, but here they're pretty big. And I need to duck to get through this bit. So one of those turn-offs I mentioned earlier on comes out here and just cuts out that loop back there. I'm going to carry on around this way. Another little rest spot over here. I'm guessing when it was first set up, there weren't quite so many trees there. You'd be able to sit and look out over the loch. Now we're going to cut back into the woodland. I believe this is mostly birch in here. And we're going to walk alongside the other loch. The lower loch, Knowetop Lochs, again, lower lows. I've seen multiple names on the maps. Let's go to the water's edge, see if Loki wants a drink. You see heron and goosander down here. I'm not sure what that old wreck of a building is there. I can see geese over there. See if I can... Why do you shake while you're in the water, mate? Thank you for that. Chilling out over there. So, no idea what the building was. And we'll go back to the path. Another nice bench, or another bench with a nice view, I should say. Just looking out across. I'm not sure what these boxes are for. A bird box or squirrel or insect, don't know. I'll add a note if I can figure it out in between now and posting.
Still not sure, but the most likely possibility that I have heard is a bat box, although it does look a bit dilapidated.
Just down here, just circles back round to the edge of the loch. We've got some steps here to go up. It's not too far to go up, fortunately. Just see one of the lochs just there, just through the trees. Probably can't on the camera. And the other one's just there. I think this is probably the highest point of the route. Another random mushroom. So we're getting back towards the road here. You can see the lay-by just over there. I believe that's Black Craig wind farm up behind it. So wee burn running through here. I just spotted a dragonfly, but totally messed up what I was trying to say, which was basically that I generally get confused and can't remember the difference between a dragonfly and a damselfly. A dragonfly can't close over the wings, and this one looks like its wings are open when it landed, although again, I could be wrong. Oh, here's the butterflies. And here we are back at the start. Thanks for joining us on this Stravaiging. Hope you can join us for another one in the future. Sláinte.